Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for your patience while I took some time to settle some of things in my life. I needed to take kind of a week off just to take care of myself and not feel like I had to generate something from within to give, and that's an adjustment for me. I'm used to always feeling like you have to perform and give and provide and do no matter how you're feeling, and so it's been a big adjustment to deal with the anxiety of knowing taking a week off from my channel means that, you know, there's no activity on my channel and maybe people lose interest and whatever, but I just had to do what I had to do. And I'll put a timestamp for the beginning of the actual reading, so you don't necessarily need to listen to my intro if you don't want, but it's been a rough couple months, and there's some really beautiful and positive things happening that make me feel hopeful again. And not hopeful, I mean, I'm always try to maintain a sense of like hope and optimism, but some things that have just helped kind of be game changers a little bit, while simultaneously kind of realizing like just who you can trust and who you can't, I guess. And I'll sort of just leave it there. And one of the beautiful things though that's come out of this is reconnecting with my uncle Grant, who's dying and who's currently on hospice. And I've spoken about him in other videos and in the community threads, so I'm not going to do too much here other than just express how kind of poignant and meaningful it's been to reconnect with him, and how healing for myself, and also kind of sorrowful at times, because the estrangement that happened between him and my aunt and I really was unnecessary, and we lost, I didn't even get to say goodbye to my aunt because she had become so enraged with me that she threw me out of her life. And then at that time no one could really tell me any otherwise about what was going on, so I just had to grieve that without really ever understanding what happened. And then finding out now that my uncle's dying, because we sort of lost contact just by default because he was her husband, and now finding out that she had dementia. She had Lewy body dementia, and when she threw me out of her life was in the early stages of that, but she swore my uncle to secrecy. No one ever knew. I'm sure people close to her at a time knew because it was obvious, but I never got that glimpse into what was happening in her life. All I knew was that I had done something that she found unforgivable, and she cut ties. And when I was visiting my uncle today and I was reading just poems from Robert Frost, which were really appropriate, and then singing to him a little bit. He was an atheist and a mathematician, but he kind of went back to the church later in life, like maybe around retirement age in his 60s. So now he's kind of a Christian person, and it's just really wonderful to get to do for him all the things that I couldn't do for my aunt. And sad, as I was reading him a poem, it was actually one of Robert Frost's most famous poems, stopping through woods on a winter evening, or I can't think of the title right now because I feel a little bit scattered all of a sudden. But I just broke down because that song is about aging and not being ready to go, and my uncle is ready to go, and I kind of didn't anticipate that, but I just really broke down for all that lost time, like all the lost time that we could have been in connection. And I don't pretend to understand the web of life or why things like that happen, but often I feel like they're by some design, and it was meant to teach me something, and maybe he and my aunt something too. I don't really know. In any case, even though we lost time, there's now, and there's the present with him now, and getting to just bring him whatever kind of comfort I can at his end of life is really an honor. And he really doesn't have anyone else. So, and I was like his child. He never had kids. I was the closest they came to having kids, my aunt and uncle. So it made it all the more kind of raw when I didn't understand why I had been thrown out of her life, and now it all makes sense. And I even had already made my peace with her that maybe it was something that I wouldn't understand, and it helps to get the answers, but it's a bittersweet. Like, as much as I know now that that love was real and that they loved and cherished me too, it's really healing, but it also is bittersweet because we lost a lot of time. But I trying to look at it like it's not lost time. Just like this last week wasn't lost time for me, even though I felt a lot of strange discomfort with not doing my Obsidian Mirror podcast, especially because I was really trying to do that on a timed alignment with the lunar cycles, and I just skipped out on the last 2 lunar phases that I would have typically read on. But I just could feel really strongly it's not time to give of yourself. You need to just rest and take care of yourself and process everything you're feeling. So that's what I did. And now I'm back to just do a Tetractys layout and to send my love out there. And I'm sending you lots of protective vibes as well. I have felt like I need that lately, so please, if you can, send me some of your prayers too, or well wishes. They are welcome right now. There's a real atmosphere of not really being sure who I can trust right now, and without really going into it, I know I can trust myself, and I know there's a handful of people that I can trust, that I love, and will always know I can trust. So that's what I'm trying to focus on, recognizing that. And I know that sounds a little mysterious and paranoid, but I'm just trying to, I know there are other people out there in the collective going through similar things, or it wouldn't be coming up. So I'm sending you all out there prayers and protection energy right now, and I'm asking for that back. What will be helpful for us to know for a general layout? In this Gemini season. Just had a full moon in Sagittarius. 2 of my favorite people in my life are Sagittarians. Marnie and Roberta. I just want to send them out love and gratitude for their love and friendship and Sagittarian warmth in my life. They're 2 relationships that really feel like kinship relationships to me, so honoring them too. It'll be helpful for us in this collective to know with this energy right now. What should we be aware of? Oops, that goes there. Although I'm going to notice that I gosh, I love in this deck when these elk and deer animals come through, like in this 3 of Pentacles in the outcome position. I had a reoccurring dream as a child that there were all kinds of immense sea creatures, some that were kind of mysterious and some that were known, like orcas and dolphins and whatnot. I grew up on a little river called the Washougal, and I used to have vivid dreams that there were huge sea creatures swimming up the river to find me for some reason. And then those became, like, I had a break-off dream that would be that my home in Washougal was being surrounded by these animals, bear, deer, elk, cougar, right? I would go look out my front door and they would all be surrounding my house, just staring at me intently. And whenever I see this card, it reminds me of that dream. So I almost feel like that's a little bit of reassurance for me that I'm in need of. So I'm thankful for that. And now we'll get to this layout here. So in the center of things, again, like I said, this is a general layout for this collective, whoever catches it. There's likely going to be some information in here for you. I don't say this all the time. Lots of tarot readers do, but if this doesn't fit, don't force it. If it doesn't sound resonant to you, then it's not your reading. And that's okay. There will be probably plenty in my playlists that do resonate if you're here. It may just not be this one, right? I already am resonating with this layout, I can tell. So hopefully there will be some really nice comfort or some type of confirmation for you. So in the heart of things, we have the Three of Cups crossed by the Two of Wands. So some relationships, loving relationships, crossed by some beginnings and some decisions being made to move forward. I love that the Two of Wands and this is represented by a lion couple. I think that's a really beautiful. And then these Three of Cups, look at this, are represented by these raccoons, which is kind of interesting and sweet. Raccoons being very communal, smart, intelligent creatures that get maligned by a lot of people. I happen to love them. The person I shared this land with sees them as problematic, so we go rounds about that sometimes. The Three of Cups, so you might be making some decisions about who you're going to grow with in your heart center, who you're going to move forward with, who you're going to work alongside, who you're going to create with. Those are the things that are in play for you right now. And in the seen realm is the Six of Cups. So this might be some really joyful reconnecting like I just did with my uncle. This is a past relationship for me, my uncle. He had a really, really, really huge impact in my life though, and on my development. And in fact, I remember one time when I was having dinner with them down in Tigard before, this was years before we had that estrangement happen. I was at a crossroads in my life where I was trying to decide if I should get an MFA, a Master's in Fine Art, a Master's in Social Work, or if I should do an accelerated nursing program and get my Bachelor's in Nursing. And I was discussing that with them at their home one night for dinner, and they both kind of, my aunt took the lead in the conversation, but she just, at the end of me telling that little story, she was like, why wouldn't you try to become a doctor? And it just kind of threw me for a minute. I didn't really know what she was getting at. And then she said, I'm just not sure why would you stop at nursing? Like, why wouldn't you become a doctor? And I said, I don't know. I never really, I hadn't thought about going to medical school really ever, mainly because I just didn't see it being worth it. All that you have to put out, from what I've understood from medical school before you're finally an MD, it's a pretty large obstacle course or gauntlet, right, to get through. And I didn't feel like I had what it took, honestly. And I said that to her, and she said, okay, I just want to make sure, if no one's ever talked to you in that way, you don't have to just be a nurse, you can be a doctor. And it was very appreciated. My dad didn't talk to me like that. So someone like my aunt, who did what she wanted and became an artist and all that, it had a major impact just to know that these things are possible for you, right? So something in the seen world is like a coming full circle for you. You're either coming back around to a relationship and seeing like, maybe now we can work together. Like I am with my uncle. I thought that was it. I would never see either of them again. And now I'm getting a second chance to go and visit with him and provide him what comfort I can and tell him how much I love and cherish him and how grateful I am to him that he was my uncle and all of the ways that he made unforgettable impacts in my life. No one's telling him that at his end of life, and I'm honored to tell him that. So this might be something like that for you. What's in the unseen is the Emperor. So by doing this work that you've been doing, like evaluating, trying to really look at your relationships with clarity, it's bringing you into an incredibly sovereign, empowered place with this Emperor card and the unseen. Other people may not know that. I've spoken in this reading before about being underestimated, and that might be a little bit in play here. You might be being underestimated somewhat because this is in the unseen. So others around you, or entities or organizations or whatever, may not have a grasp on how powerful you've become or are becoming. In the recent past is the King of Pentacles. So you might have gotten some good news or affirmations about your own kind of stability, your own security, your own royalty and I guess, just material success and abundance. The King of Pentacles is a very abundant, sovereign, masculine energy that has everything he needs and is not in a place of worry or fear or lack. He's in a place of empowerment and groundedness, and that's in the recent past. The energy that you're about to step into is an Ace of Wands. So this pure, beautiful creation, passion energy, it's a really nice complement to the Two of Wands here in the central column. So whatever stillness you may have been in, that's about to change into a really huge opportunity. And an Ace of Wands opportunity is the kind of opportunity that you really can't miss because it's that powerful and fiery and in your face, kind of. But it's one that you're being advised not to miss. Don't sleep on the opportunity, right? If it's here in the near future, be watchful for it. And once it arrives, take the opportunity, because it's where the energy is headed, where your future, it's not in the past. This is what's to come. And to be in harmony with that kind of energy, you want to take the opportunity for when it shows up. You have been in a place of letting, and this is why I sense that there might be a feeling of you having felt underestimated or not being fully seen or recognized for your power and your wisdom and your sovereignty and authority, right? Personally, on a personal level. This is really feeling personal, not like a global, like large scale kind of world events type reading. This feels like a personal reading for folks. You're in the energy of allowing justice to unfold, and you seem to have a sense that justice is happening for you. And you are in like this King of Pentacles energy. You're allowing it to occur. You're not trying to intervene. You're not trying to hasten it. You're not trying to get your little imprint on it. The Justice card is a card that's bigger than any one person. So, because it's a major arcana card. So you are wisely in the energy of like, I need to let this unfold. I need to let this play out. Justice also is often for me, although I tend to steer away a lot from interpreting zodiac signs in tarot, this is a card that comes up a lot for Libra. And I have a Libra moon, so I have a lot of Libra energy in my life. The energy coming towards you is that somebody's really, or a group or whatever, these people that you're considering collaborating with, this new kind of coming around or second chance with some folks from the past, they're really being strong, and they're really in a wise major arcana energy. Whoever it is coming towards you, they may have also had to overcome some pretty heavy things. And as you can see here, the heart is at the center, an anatomical heart with a mouse and a rat. And so that came up in another reading a few readings back. It's an interesting relationship because a mouse and a rat are predator and prey, right? But here, like in the traditional image of the Strength card with a lion and a healing woman, this is the mouse and the snake working together to overcome obstacles, right? That's a very brass tacks way of looking at it, but it's like sublimating the predator within you. It's like alchemizing your own inner conflicts and energy and empowering yourself by doing so. It's using a lot of discipline to get where you're going. You're not just acting. And it's nice to have the discipline behind you, because with the Ace of Wands, that's a card that could be prone to a lack of discipline if you weren't already aware of that, which I have the sense that the people coming towards you are coming towards you from a place of discipline and wisdom and willingness to continue that work. What you're hoping for by having arrived at this place of reevaluating and taking stock of the fact that you are empowered, you have come a long way, you are sort of the charioteer of your own life. What you're really hoping for is that this is going to bring in the joy that might have felt elusive. The Nine of Cups is a really celebratory, joyful, abundant, happy card. It might have been that joy has felt elusive lately, because this is your greatest hope, is joy. So you'd really like to move out of a time of sorrow, grief, confusion, indecisiveness into this joyful place where it's like it's on and it's popping and everything's on lock and it's going and it's moving and it's exciting. And then right beyond it is that Three of Pentacles that I just said for me has significance because of the imagery. It's also the three that's in the sequence here of the 1, 2, 3, the Ace of Wands, the Two of Wands, and then the Three of Pentacles. So this is all about forward movement after having been in a place of stillness while you allowed things to happen that were outside of your control. You were trusting the universe. And now where it's going is a time to seize an opportunity and pick up to start working with your new crew, right? Whoever that is to you. So let's pull some more cards about that. What kind of project? What are the things that you might be doing here? What's the excitement about? What are the new projects? Is it in work? Is it in love? Is it in creativity? Is it in the realm of the physical world and like building a home or, you know, something like that? What is the new opportunities for collaboration? It's being represented there. Happiness. That's so, you're going to be coming together with a group of people that's really in alignment with who you are, and it's going to be bringing in happiness. So that might have become a big focus for you. It's like the joy that's been missing in my life, I'm no longer willing to do without. My goals for myself and my future are to feel happy again and a return of joy. And this is telling you that this is successful, that this opportunity that drops in your lap or that shows up here in the near future, it's going to bring you the happiness that you've been seeking. So you can really trust that. There might have been some confusion because like me, you might have been uncertain about who you can trust. I've really been going through that. Confused about who I really can trust in my life. And I never thought I would be doing that, but I have had to. I've had to reevaluate all of those kinds of, all my relationships, honestly. It's not been fun. It's been scary at times even, but you know, the hard work for me I've known is over. So that's good. And it looks like in this image here, what do we have here? We have citrus, which my friend Megan and I were talking recently about how wonderful and luscious citrus energy plant medicine is. It's cleansing, it's nourishing, it's juicy and delicious. Citrus has been a big plant for me and possibly for you. We also have what looks like, I can't remember what these are called, but they're part of esotericism. It's like in this image, it's a numeric table, but it can also be palindrome grids of words that create palindromes no matter how, you know, they're magical. They're like sigil magic or word magic, something like that. So you might be getting deeper into esoteric things, and that's going to be bringing you some joy. It's definitely brought me joy. Starting this channel and doing my tarot work in particular, although I love talk therapy and having started my own private practice as a therapist, if I'm being honest, this is what's the most fun for me right now, is really coming out and showing my stuff as a card reader. I've always been more of a private person about this kind of thing, and it's been really delightful. There's a lot of fertility here. There's a little glass of champagne. So don't be afraid to indulge a little bit in celebration. There's a mushroom here, so there might be some psychedelic healing involved for you, which is, if you're on the West Coast, there's all kinds of access to that right now, and that might have meaning for you as well. What other animal spirits or companions for you right now as you find your way to this joy? This is really exciting. I feel great to see it too, especially after a week that's been a little heavy and confusing. Lots to celebrate, lots of joyful things happening here. Whale. the way that their minds work all the way, that doesn't mean they don't see clearly what's destroying their habitat. They would, they're orcas, for fuck's sake. They know what's going on. It's not a game. I don't think, anyways, and I know a lot of people don't. It's dismissive of the mind of a pod of orcas to say it's just a game that's gone wrong. I don't agree with that at all. But I'm in a weird heart space right now, so I'm happy plus pissed, plus defensive, plus critical. My energy is a little all over, so that's my energy, not necessarily the energy of the reading. Devotion, inspiration, creativity, abundance, impulsiveness, self-assuredness, generosity, optimism, and impatience. This is perfect. This is a great energy, an echo of this joy and happiness and abundance. What else? Wolf, I love it. Wolves come up a lot for me in readings, and they know how to work in a pack. They also know how to get by on their own. Loyalty, devotion from this whale. You know, these are both social animals that exist in social groups, right? Loyalty, intelligence, leadership, instinctiveness, independence, sociability, lustfulness, physicality, this King of Pentacles, self-reliance, mistrust. So discernment. While this whale brings in all the joy and community and excitement and impatientness, and the wolf can bring that too, with this sort of lusty, powerful, independent social energy, but it's also very cautious. So you have the discernment now to move forward. You've allowed stillness to happen. You've been patient so that you could see what shakes out. Who can you trust? Just through being patient and through being still. And it's paying off for you with these two cards here, showing that, reflecting that. What else? What is the Nine of Cups here? Let's ask that. Who and what are the Nine of Cups? I love that it's a peacock. The Nine of Cups would typically indicate happiness, like happiness being a joyful, heart-centered emotion. It's an emotion which is the water realm, the water element. So the happiness could be related to that. Let's see if we can get any sneak peeks into what is the cause of the happiness. I'm already feeling uplifted from the reading. I'm glad. It's the right time for me to come back to doing a layout and an upload. I feel a little bit of disappointment that I skipped 2 lunar phases for my podcast, but I just really needed to listen to my inner voice, which was saying, stay still and don't do that right now. And so I did. And it felt good to rest. What about this Nine of Cups? Victory, so that's nice. 6 of Wands, that's working together victoriously. That's going to be a contributing factor to your joy. Whatever feeling or fear that you had about ending up in lack or on the outside or not chosen or that you would be abandoned, it's the end of that. You're not going to have that anymore, because what's coming for you is happiness. It might be that somebody else is going to be a little sad to see this happen, though. So just be aware of that. That doesn't mean you shouldn't claim your happiness or go towards your happiness. It might be that not everybody's going to be celebrating with you. That might be a little bit of the bittersweet element that's come through the reading for me. What else? Yeah, it's from a walking away. So the happiness that's coming for you is because you have been willing to make the difficult decisions to walk away from things that weren't bringing the happiness. At one time, maybe you hoped or thought they might, but you've come to realize they're not going to. And you're moving past that now and being willing to walk away from things that don't serve you or that aren't for your highest good. That's what's going to bring in your happiness, is by being willing to let go of some old patterns and some old ways. And resting. So this has been maybe a period of rest, but I also see that this joy is coming in because at last, right? Like at last, the hard work of coming through this difficult period is done, and you're going to arrive in this place of joyous happiness, collaborations, love-centered. What else? What was at the bottom of the deck here? The King of Swords. That's beautiful. So this could be something to do with clarity for you. You've achieved the physical abundance that you may have felt were eluding you in the past, in the recent past, and now stepping into a clear, empowered place of clarity of the mind and sovereignty of your air element, yourself. And we talked about Libra before, which is an air sign. This is sort of an air-based card, air element. Four of Swords, resting your mind a little bit. You've done the right things. It's okay to rest and know that your happiness is coming. I just had to do a hard push. Part of what was dragging me down so much was that I kept having my internet not be where I needed it to be, because my whole business is an online business. And there were a lot of reasons why that wasn't flowing the way that it needed to be, including me just being, not having the energy to take it all on, because I would keep trying to, and then there were obstacles that just were not allowing it to move forward. And without getting too detailed, it was part of what contributed to me feeling unsure about who I can really trust. And it took me a big emotional, logistical, physical, communicative push where it really took everything I had to get the problem almost resolved. This will be one of the tests. Like, how long it takes to upload this is still part of the test of seeing how my new internet is working. But it was, you'd think something like that would be simple, but it wasn't. It was a very frustrating, complicated process where I kept feeling unheard, unimportant, uncared about, disrespected. It was just over and over and over. And I finally made it go through by basically just losing my shit and realizing this is fucking unacceptable, and I am going to make this happen no matter how tired I am, no matter how frustrated I get, no matter how unheard I feel. This is what needs to happen. Everybody else is just gonna have to fucking get with it, right? And it's working. Finally, I'm having secure internet for my sessions, secure internet for my uploads, secure, we'll see. This upload will be a test, but that's also why I had to take some time off. Milk and honey. I love when this card shows up. This is a really, really, really positive omen for everything that we've already said. It just really reinforces everything we already said. Happiness, cooperation, joy, alliances, passion. Like, it's everything you're dreaming is what's coming with this milk and honey. And again, it's a really nature-based card with this little baby elephant where he has all of his needs taken care of. It's just really, really beautiful. He's feeling celebrated, secure, happy. Like, he's not wanting for anything. He's not afraid. It's just over with. All of the dark period is over. It's a thing of the past. It's really reassuring for me as well. I'm very happy to see a reading like this. What else? What else do you need to know? Your milk and honey is here. It's coming for you. It's about to go down, right? It's about to happen with that Ace of Wands. So take the opportunity, whatever it is. What else should you know about the opportunity or about the happiness that's coming? You had to walk away from some things. So it came at a price. Sometimes things that are worth it cost. Not everything's going to be free. What else should you know? Yeah. The fates. Masculine energy. There's been 2 kings here and an emperor. So masculine energy moving towards you from a strong, strength-based place of discipline, of wisdom, of insight, of healing, a healed heart. I'm going to read these scriptures. Let me grab my... I put my glasses down. Where did I set them? I just had them. I was wearing them. You saw them. Oh, you're there. When her cards come in reverse, she has written reversal meanings. So I respect the reversals in this deck. And I'm going to read those. It's difficult to understand why painful things happen to good people. Fate is a mystery, after all. Yet what we do with our circumstances, the way in which we respond to life's challenges, is how we rise up to greet our destiny. Now is one of those times to be aware of your powerlessness to change a certain situation and surrender to acceptance. You're already there. You've already recognized something bigger is at work. I need to allow justice to unfold. It's not mine to administer. I need to allow or trust karma, right? Karmic justice might be in play. Now is one of those times to be aware of your powerlessness to change certain situations and surrender to acceptance. Hang in there. Life will only get better. We already know that. That's already come out. Act as if you believe that. For the only thing you can control right now is your attitude. When you align with the fates, be mindful of what you can and cannot change, and serenity will come to you. It's just beautiful. And then Yang, masculine energy here, but it's card number 1. It's the inception card of the deck. It's seminal, right? It's sperm. It's the beginning. It's the phallus. But it's in reverse here. So it might be cautioning against any distortions. There is a lot of masculine energy present here. So make sure that it doesn't get out of alignment, possibly. Let's see. Be mindful of the tendency towards impulse, overconfidence, or aggression. Think before you act, lest you find yourself in a situation that will lead to uncomfortable consequences. Be sure you really want what you're chasing after, because you might be sorry when you get it. The appearance of this card isn't cause for fear, for life is all about learning lessons. Practice temperance, diplomacy, and thoughtful consideration before making a move. So that's great advice, always, right? Especially with something like the Ace of Wands present. So this is me being really encouraging about the Ace of Wands. Be sure to seize the opportunity. This is also saying don't lose your head, though. Don't lose your discernment. Because that energy is so phallic and catalytic and explosive, there might be a tendency to charge forward blindly, and it's cautioning you. I think it's a small risk, though, because like we said, at the bottom of the deck is the King of Swords. As long as you're maintaining your clarity of your element and the security that you've established for yourself, you're going to be okay. But it's great to be aware of that caution always. You don't want to get too distorted in that kind of energy and start making mistakes because you're making too many assumptions. And then I'll pull a couple more of these cards to wrap it up. And I'm so excited to be back doing readings again that I might do another layout tonight. First, I want to see how this upload goes and how long it's going to take me now that I've kind of fought through the worst of it and finally arrived with some better internet. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's really a modern challenge. Especially with my work. Everything I'm doing is online practically right now. So it just was not acceptable to keep being shined on about maybe this will work, maybe that'll work, maybe this will work. No, I need to take charge and figure it out myself. Everybody else get out of the way, right? The Advocate at the bottom of the deck. What is the Giver and the Rebel? Let's read these descriptions here. Card 29, the Giver. Oh, and I don't know, oh yeah, I did mention it. I did have a reading where this is almost healed, and I'm very glad. It's a heart lock and key, and it matches my crown. I'm very happy with how they came out. Card number 29. Slow down the rhythm of your life and give yourself more time, more love and understanding, and make sure the patterns you have already created are serving you well. You could find that this is a good time to take on additional training, and those in such a position could be drawn to teach what they know. Be wary of neglecting your own needs at the moment. The Giver is committed to community and to the care and support of others and their surrounds. They are dedicated to creating strong, lasting legacies that can ensure the longevity of what they care about. So that's great advice, and that kind of came through with that Rest card. You've been in this place of stillness. It's okay to continue to be in a restful place and allow things to come to you. That might be a challenge because there's a lot of masculine energy present which wants to make things happen. Active masculine energy is active. It's not receptive. It's you know. Let's see. And then the Rebel here, card number 7. Things cannot always keep going the way they have in the past. Boy, isn't that the truth. While on the outside, your tried and true path may still prove to work. Oh, while on the outside, okay, I was emphasizing the wrong words there. While on the outside, your tried and true path may still prove to work, there is a price to be paid in stagnation and resting on one's laurels. The safe way is not always the best way, but the adventurous direction should still be considered with great care. The rebel knows that breaking completely away from what is considered the average, the expected, and the normal does not mean leaving your values behind. That just makes me think of a song that I was listening to lately and kind of contemplating again. It had been a while since I heard it, but it's by Broken Bells, The High Road, and it just talks about all of the sort of complexities in life and how so much pain in life, when you're facing a lot of pain, taking the high road is the hard road, right? It's not the easy path, and so many people don't take it. And when you're trying to take the high road and maybe witnessing a lot of people around you not take the high road that you maybe thought would or would join you on the high road, it's lonely sometimes to be on the high road. But it pays off. Look what's happening. Your willingness to be on a kind of a solo sojourning into your soul and what you want and who is for you and who is not, it's leading you to where ultimately we all want that kind of work to go. I know for a few, I've had more than one dark night of the soul in my life. I've probably had more like 3. And each time there's those darkest points where you're like, I don't know if I can keep going, and I don't really know if I'm going to make it. And then when you do break through and you start seeing all the results of having been willing to face your shadow and do that dark night of the soul work, it is really amazing. There's no shortcuts though. And sometimes I think people want to take shortcuts and then feel envious when they see you thriving and they didn't get what you have, but they wanted to take shortcuts, right? So that's another message that kind of just came through there, that your willingness to do the hard work is going to pay off in this very beautiful milk and honey, secure, happiness, joyful, collaborative, the right partnerships, the right community. You don't need to go too balls out yet. You still want to kind of keep a level head as much as possible, but don't fear what's coming. It's very exciting. Might be a little whoa at first, but it's good, right? So thank you so much. Maybe I'll be back with another reading tonight. We'll see. But I now feel like I'm ready to kind of plug back in and start doing my regular layouts again after taking that week off. Thank you so much. I'm sending you love and respect, and I'll see you in the next one.